Welcome to the KMBR Hot Stove Show. Larry Kruger not alongside Marty Lurie, face to face with Marty Lurie. And Marty, this is a cool thing. This is like one of my favorite. I look forward to this each week. We're going to talk hot stove throughout the baseball off season and the GM meetings going on in Boca Raton, Florida. Jerry Seinfeld's dad lived at La Boca Vista. If you remember that, there was a lot of controversy at La Boca Vista. But no controversy yet from the GM meetings, but a lot of rumors and a lot of juicy rumors.
Yeah, I think Giants are in the middle of a lot of them. And, Larry, as I've thought about this over the end of the season and getting into the postseason here and this part of the offseason, they have to make a move soon. They don't want to be held hostage to this free agent class because there's so much money involved and time will go on, and the Giants need two pitchers. And I really believe they're going to make a trade. And Atlanta is a very, very hot team right now. Andrelton Simmons, man, they're offering him all over baseball to the National League West. I see a trade coming. What do you think?
Well, I think you're right on. I think the thinking is accurate, which is that if you get somebody in a trade, then when you call for Greinke, you don't get held hostage. If you call for Price or Zimmerman or Samardzija or Lee, you don't get held hostage because you don't need two starters, you just need one. So then the question is, there aren't that, you're talking about the ultimate rare commodity in baseball, and that is the good starting pitcher who's basically not yet reached his free agent status. And there are a few guys. The guy that I like is Salazar from Cleveland. But they like him. I mean, he's been a top guy. He's got big time stuff. He started to come into his own this year. I think Danny Salazar is a tremendous arm, and he's a healthy arm. He's a guy that's intriguing to me. And I know we've talked about Julio Teheran as well for Atlanta, and I really like Teheran. I think if he's got top of the rotation stuff, and on this team, he would be slated towards the back of the rotation most likely. So I think that's an attractive name as well.
Yeah, I like Teheran, healthy, live arm, a right-hander, throws hard. He's pitched well out here before. We've seen him out here. Atlanta's going to do something, and I think Teheran is someone that the Giants could look for. The other thing is Pagan, and I think we have to be realistic about this. He was awful at the end of the year as a center fielder. He just was. When he's on leadoff hitting, he can make something happen, but for me, defensively, this is a team built on pitching and defense, and we never could get away from that as the needs. I think Atlanta's got Cameron Maybin. There was almost a trade last summer of Maybin for Pagan that fell through at the last minute. I think if you took Maybin and Teheran and you put them in a package back to the Giants, you can make something happen that way. Susac may be involved with it, maybe a Hunter Strickland involved with it. They've got a ton of right-handed relief pitching that we saw from Sacramento. Ray Black, a guy who throws 103 in the Arizona Fall League, is available, I'm sure, as well. So my take is a trade is coming. I love Salazar. I love Carrasco for Cleveland. They mentioned him as well. Quintana for the White Sox. The White Sox need some offense, too. I think something's coming that way.
Two pitchers, if you could pick your ideal two pitchers for the Giants to nab, either via trade, free agency. Give me your two names. What you would say, okay, if everything worked exactly the way you would want it to work, who are the two pitchers they land?
All right, it's a great question, and we'll probably do this every week as this thing goes on until they get somebody. But I still say it's Greinke. I think he's such a smart pitcher. He'd be great in this park. I think he's got the stuff that is not going to erode over the years coming up, even though he's 32. He has his way of putting the ball within the strike zone, changing speeds. I think he's perfect for him. So Greinke is my first choice.
Okay.
I've always loved Zimmerman. I've always loved Zimmerman, and you and I chatted a little bit about his sabermetrics, the velocities down and all that. He knows how to pitch. The guy knows what's going on, and that's the kind of pitcher you want here. So if you didn't get Greinke, Zimmerman becomes my second choice. Now, who's my guy out there to fill it in? It's not Mike Leake. And I know people say I'm crazy for this. I like John Lackey. I think John Lackey, at 37 years old, even if he costs you a first-round draft pick, you could get him for 2 years. You could probably get him for 2 years, $25 million. It's the Hudson Peavy kind of deal. This guy is such a competitor that I think he'd be great in this park. I trust him. So I would take Greinke or Zimmerman and put Lackey in there with him, and you throw Bumgarner in there with PV, and I'm ready to go. And I think you got a pitching staff that can compete. I think you can win with that pitching staff.
That's interesting. I like those names. I'll go Greinke as well. I mean, Greinke is the guy. I mean, he's the guy that would make the Dodgers worse. He's the guy that, he's the Gold Glove winner, by the way, on the mound in the National League. He's a thinking man's pitcher. He doesn't get by with just a fastball. A lot of it's about command. Yeah, so Greinke would be my first choice as well. As far as second choice, as far as the second, if they couldn't get Greinke, to me it's Price. I mean, Price is a lefty who's durable, young. I think he's going to maintain his stuff for the next 4 or 5 years. I like Price, even if you have to go big dollars. As far as the Greinke and somebody, Greinke and Price, and then that back of the rotation.
Greinke and Price, and you'll be spending $6 for a glass of water out there, which you're probably spending now, but you'll be spending $600 for garlic fries. So
exactly.
You can't have them both.
No, you can't have them both. But I'm saying one of those two. I love your call on Lackey.
The next one?
I'll tell you the other guy that really is intriguing to me, and I just think I'd love to see him pitch in a Giants uniform. To me, he would fit in. I don't even know if he's going to pitch, but Mark Burley. Mark Burley is just a phenomenal pitcher, and he's lost a little bit of his stuff, but he works fast. He fields his position. He's a great clubhouse guy. Now, he's a Midwest-based guy. He's always been a Midwest-based guy. Yeah, so I don't know that he has any interest in pitching on the West Coast. But if he does, I mean, Mark Burley in the National League, I think could be a very big winner for how much it costs to sign him.
All right.
I think he could be a real big time.
Is he a free agent too? I mean, he retired.
Yes.
He is a free agent.
He's a free agent.
Okay, so his retirement doesn't matter then. They didn't make a qualifying offer to him. Now, Lackey, they did. Greinke, there is a qualifying offer there, so it cost the Giants draft picks there.
Let me give you one trade front too, Marty. One team that I think I would definitely be knocking on their door, and that's the San Diego Padres. I think in both Tyson Ross and Andrew Cashner, you have two starters who could be breakout starters in 2016, and neither of them make big dollars. Ross has got local ties. He'd be willing to sign long-term with the Giants, I think. It would definitely cost the Giants a Tyler Beede and something else. But you know what? I think I'd be willing to say goodbye to Beede and maybe a couple future arms for guys that I'm projecting to kind of bust out in 2016. Cashner's got big-time stuff, and Ross does as well. And I think both those guys could be right about to have a great year.